Thanks to his gambling habit, a once respectable judge sinks deeply into corruption on today's Miami Vice. The Fix was written by Chuck Adamson and directed by beloved character actor Dick Miller, known for Gremlins, The Terminator, the television series Fame, and much, much more. In his long and distinguished career, which encompassed nearly 200 film and television credits, this is his sole credit as a director. I'm sure there's an interesting story as to how that came about. Following an impressive sting operation at the zoo, Vice arrests a drug dealer named Ortega. At her arraignment, Judge Ferguson sets her bail ridiculously low, despite her being a danger to the community and an obvious flight risk. This makes Crockett and Tubbs suspicious. They're right to find this fishy. Prior to the arraignment, Judge Ferguson, who is played by basketball great Bill Russell, met with an attorney named Benedict at the dog track. While an instrumental version of Madonna's Gambler plays, Benedict asks Ferguson to go easy on Ortega. Ferguson is a compulsive gambler in deep debt, so he has an arrangement with Benedict. He gives Benedict's clients lenient sentences in exchange for bribes. Benedict, by the way, is played by gravel-voiced playwright/actor Harvey Fierstein of Torch Song Trilogy, La Cage aux Folles, and Kinky Boots. Back at Vice headquarters, where Trudy is once again doing a lot of favors for Crockett and/or Tubbs by fetching them files without getting properly thanked for it, Crockett does a deep dive into Ferguson and uncovers his habit of doling out suspiciously light sentences. He and Tubbs bring their concerns to Castillo, who gives them the go-ahead to look into whether Ferguson is dirty. They talk to one of Ortega's henchmen, Berlioz, who is played by the late Paul Greco from The Warriors and who is in a great deal of legal trouble himself. He tells them about Benedict's secret financial arrangement with Judge Ferguson. While shadowing Ferguson, Crockett and Tubbs attend a college basketball game where Ferguson's superstar son Matt, played by basketball star Bernard King, is dominating the court in a sequence scored to P Machinery by the synth-pop group Propaganda. Ferguson leaves the game midway through to meet with his bookie, Pagoni, on his luxurious yacht to discuss repayment of his substantial debt. Pagoni is played by Seinfeld star Michael Richards. His henchman Marco is played by Oingo Boingo drummer Johnny Vatos Hernandez in his second appearance as a thug on Miami Vice. In exchange for clearing Ferguson's debt, Pagoni wants him to convince his son Matt to throw an important game to prevent his team from going to the playoffs. Racked with guilt, Ferguson stands on a basketball court and tries to figure out what to do, while Jim Gilstrap's The Water's Too Deep plays. When he finally broaches the subject of game throwing to Matt, Matt understandably reacts very, very poorly. Gina and Trudy bug Benedict's office, then Vice sends Berlioz in to talk to Benedict to get him to agree to fix his legal problems in exchange for money. When Benedict drops by Ferguson's home to ask him to fix Berlioz's trial, Ferguson, who's had enough of this arrangement, refuses. After giving it some thought, Matt decides to sit out the playoff game. When Ferguson presents this as a solution to Pagoni, Pagoni refuses. Matt must throw the game to clear his father's debt. Crockett trails Ferguson to a park in his old neighborhood to tell him Benedict has been arrested. Ferguson is broken and sad, and Crockett is gentle and respectful. Knowing it's only a matter of time before he's arrested, Ferguson calls Matt right before the big game and tells him to play his best. Zito overhears this on a wiretap and alerts Crockett and Tubbs. Alarmed, Crockett trails Ferguson to Pagoni's yacht. Ferguson boards the yacht and kills Pagoni, and then, while Crockett begs him not to do it, turns the gun on himself. Much as with our last episode, French Twist, this is a perfectly okay episode without being anything special. I don't follow basketball, so the full impact of the stunt casting of Bill Russell and Bernard King is lost on me, but they both acquit themselves well. They turn in sympathetic performances as a troubled and weary father who is disgusted by his own corruption and his idealistic and supportive son. It's not an episode I find myself with an urge to rewatch very often, but that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It's nicely done, with a solid script and good performances, so Three Flamingos seems fair. Next time, Miami Vice's penchant for stunt casting will reach giddy new heights of delightful absurdity in an episode guest starring, wait for it, Roberto Duran and Frank Zappa. This is a good one, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to be notified as soon as it drops, and we'll meet back here then. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.